On today's episode of Local to Global, we've got another challenger waiting for Jeff Jarrett's heavyweight title. We're trying to get through 4 shows in today's episode, so we'll likely have some tag team title matches as well. And it's all going to go down for the Spike Piledriver Wrestling as we go through 1992 in our Local to Global series. My name is Anders, and this is Spike Piledriver. Please remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, check out the Patreon as well if you're interested in supporting us. But from now on, we're going to go through the first few shows of episode number 4, I believe. And we're starting out in May with a look at the financial situation at the end of April. So April saw just one show, which means we lost around about $600, which fits in nicely with how we did in February as well. Obviously, we spent a little bit more on workers because, well, we've been having tag team matches now, while in February it was all singles matches. So an extra $100 on workers is what you can see there. Sponsorship money is slowly ticking up, and looking at our financial estimates, we did better than the estimate for sponsorship last time around. But we'll see how we get on as we try and bump our popularity up to 2 in the southeast. But we will get there. Obviously, the production issues that we have been seeing have now disappeared, so we're not getting pinged with production anymore because our rivals just haven't got any production values to worry us about. So that's fine. We have got on the docket tonight High Voltage, followed by No Remorse, Undisputed, and then hopefully we'll get to Immortals as well at the beginning of July. But we'll see how we get on and how much runtime this episode looks to have. So without any further ado, we'll go to High Voltage, where Jeff Jarrett is potentially defending his heavyweight title, or maybe we'll have another match to put us in the chain, because obviously Todd Morton has signalled his intent to challenge for that title. I believe we're probably going to drag it out one more show, because then he's going to be leaving us at the end of the month. Anyway, no nights off for anyone. Generic venue in the southeast. There's been some pre-show incidents, which is always worrying. Despite best efforts, Bobby Knight's been stranded at the airport. Good news! Why are you coming via the airport anyway? Oh, never mind. But anyway, he's stuck. He's not coming. It doesn't matter. I don't think we've got him booked. Anyway, tonight's booking meeting. We now have 77 creative energy stored, so we're going to... No, we'll spend it, but I don't think we're going to use the creative finish this time around. Oh, okay, it's for Booker T anyway, so if he's on the card, we will see how we can use it. I'm sure the Ebony Experience will be being booked soon, so we will see if we can use that anyway. Locker room incidents. Ron Harris and Booker T are... That's a little bit unexpected, given the well, I won't mention why that's a little bit unexpected, but apparently Ron Harris and Booker T are becoming friends. Al Snow continuing his training for Bret Colt, Mabel, and X-Pac. King Cobra still doing his great impressions backstage. Todd Morton's brightened up the backstage area as well, so everyone is happy in the locker room. 4 matches on the card tonight. Bret Colt against Ron Harris, Jarrett and Malenko against Morton and King Cobra in our tag team main event. Kit Montana and Dennis Allen, and then James Earl Wright and the Lightning Kid. And as mentioned, Bobby Knight is stranded, so he will not be here to go through the show. Right, let's book the matches in main event down order. So don't look at the results. There we go. Who else? I don't even know where we want to put the rest of the matches. We're kind of 3 undercard matches that I'm not sure where best to place any of them, and then a tag team match to close the show. 55, we need an angle as well, don't we? Right, so after that one, we can just have Jarrett and, can't type, and Morton stare down. And that can be just a 3 minutes in the ring angle to end the show. Champion and challenger stare down as the show closes. They will fight for the heavyweight title next time around. So that's set for the next show, which will be Todd Morton's last show. But we need to make sure that Jarrett is here working the crowd. And Morton, I think he can do the same. I mean, he's okay. Yeah, we'll get him to work the crowd as well. Improvised, yep, 3 minutes, wonderful, segment done, but we'll put it as the main event, and then we'll go through the show. Again, quick look at the booking analysis. It's just because we've got no announcers, which is fine. Looking at who needs to be booked next time around. Don Harris hasn't been booked for a while. He's irritated as well. Mike Jackson's annoyed. Rick Thames is annoyed. Okay. You can be, that's fine. We've not got enough members of the roster to be really annoyed at people. Right, let's book the show, see how high voltage goes, and see if we can match that 52 that we got last time around. Opening contest sees Kip Montana defeating Dennis Allen with his leg drop bulldog. 36 rating for this one, a quite nice solid match to open the show. Both guys getting 34 for their in-ring performance. Gets the crowd off to a strong start for the show. Not much more really to report with this one. It's just there, essentially, as our opener. And then the other Long Rider, as they're not actually a tag team just yet, but Bret Colt faces Ron Harris and beats him with a Bart Buster. Both guys, they don't really click. That's a little bit annoying. Both guys with another solid performance, 33 and 36 respectively. Gets a 36 rating overall. Crowd is still enjoying it. Ron Harris getting better at his gimmick. But slightly disappointing match, really. I say disappointing, probably as we would have expected. In the mid-30s, Bret Colt and Kip Montana are projects for the future, that's for sure. Next up, speaking of projects for the future and for the now, essentially, because he's doing so good straight off the back, Lightning Kid defeats James Earl Wright with a super kick in just under 9 minutes. He puts in a great performance of a 44 once again. Wright getting a 30 and the segment itself getting 42. Crowd rating doing nicely. This is going to obviously boost X-Pac's popularity in the Southeast with a nice victory over the State Patrol. And that's going to be nicely done for him. And then we go into our main event tag team match. And once again, the combination of Jarrett and Malenko with their excellent chemistry and really, really strong in-ring performance has boosted this match up. But Todd Martin gets... It's Todd Morton, not Todd Martin. Todd Morton gets the victory with a frog splash on Malenko, and that earns him a shot at Jarrett's title next time out. Some really good performance from Morton as well, getting a 43 up there with the best of the company. Well, not quite with the best of the company, but the best of the rest of the company. And it gets a 56 segment rating overall, 49 for the wrestling. That is, I think, our second best match so far in the save. It's not quite that 61 from the other tag match where Jarrett Malenko faced Lynn and Lightning Kid, but it's definitely a good, strong end to the show, and the segment does well as well. Gets a 53 as the champion and challenger stare down. They will fight next time around for the heavyweight title, which will be coming up very shortly. A 54! We are raking in the great show ratings now. We're not getting pinged for any production issues. 71 in attendance, which is great. Hopefully, we'll see how the popularity recap goes in a second. Locker room will drop in Lightning Kid and Todd Morton for their performances. Praised, complimented, praised, excellent, great, wonderful. Everyone's happy, fantastic. Financial wise, lost 447, another 450 on workers again. Ticket sales up to 355. Merchandise is still at 13, but we'll get there. Down below $4,000 in the red this time around. We'll turn it around. There's plenty of time to turn things around finance wise. We're not losing much money at all, really. Popularity still at 1. Hopefully that'll tick over to 2 with the next show, but wow, it's going to be a slow road to get that going. But with 50 ratings in the match, in the shows overall, there's a long way to go before we need to really improve our roster and in-ring performances to keep the popularity ticking up. That's the end of show number 1. We will be doing the next 3 shows, hopefully, in this episode. So we'll fly through them and get to a point where we are into July, I believe, by the end of this video. Right, Yokozuna is probably going to go back on tour with All Japan again. Fine, that's good. Top 100 wise, that's top events, and puts us that main event tag match was now second in our best matches of the save so far. You can see there's a common thread with all of the 4 of the top 5 matches in company history. It's Dean Malenko. Jeff Jarrett's in 3 of the top 5 as well, so you can't really complain about him. Great performance from everyone. We'll have a title match coming up in a second as we go through to our next show, which is No Remorse. And we'll be with you there very, very soon. And then we'll get to the end of the month and see what the finances look like in June. Okay then, time for No Remorse and the title match that we've been building to for the last couple of shows. Right, we'll get into things now. No nights off. I've clicked the wrong button again. No nights off though. Tonight we will continue with the generic venue in the southeast. No pre-show incidents to note, and then the booking team is here. We do have some more creative energy, which we're going to spend again. And hopefully we'll see if we get another creative finish that we can use. Yes. This time it's just a bit of a gamble, but it's a general anyone creative finish, so we can look at that. We've still got that Booker T one because we haven't booked the Ebony experience in a match yet. That's not going to happen tonight, but we will be using the creative finish next time around, hopefully. Right, that's the end of that one. Locker room incidents, anything I'm noting? No. Lightning Kid happy. Brett Colt and Jerry Lynn are now travel buddies. Al Snow continues training, and that's the gist of the locker room. Everyone is happy. So on tonight's card, we've got Jeff Jarrett defending his title against Todd Morton, Dean Malenko doing his blocker role against King Cobra, Lynn back in action against Lieutenant Wright, and then the Harris brothers in a tag team match against the Jobbers, Rick Thames and Dennis Allen. Probably going to be spending about $450 on workers again tonight. But we'll go through now, and we'll put in that title match at the end of the show. We'll remember to do that. We're going to put in the rest of the matches as well. I basically think the order that they're showing on this list here is the order we're putting things on to the show. Right, that's nicely quick book. An hour-long show doesn't take long to book, let's put it that way. Main event is going to be the longest match of the night, and making sure there's nothing on the booking analysis we need to worry about. There isn't. Wonderful. Anyone who we need to book next time? No, everyone's generally been booked quite recently. Jackson and Mabel are potentially going to be needed to book soon. It's been 2 months since they were last used. But what we're going to do is run through No Remorse now and then look at the finances for May. Opening contest in front of 70 fans in the southeast. Sees the Harris brothers picking up the victory over Thames and Allen in 9 minutes. H-Bomb putting Allen away. Some good solid in-ring performances for the Harrises. They're creeping into the 40s now, which is really good. Gets the crowd off to a strong start. Gets a 39 overall rating for the match. Allen and Thames just are jobbers, so whatever. But a strong rating there for both Harris brothers, 40 and a 41. That sets up our next tag team title match as the Harris brothers have scored the victory. Ebony Experience come down to ringside and grant them a title shot at the next show. Don Harris improvised well. Ron Harris loved the freedom of not having a script, as did Stevie Ray. Booker T was also there, but it gets a 48 rating, which is nice. Hopefully this is going to bring the tag team ratings up a little bit because the tournament itself was slightly disappointing. Next up, though, Jerry Lynn gets a nice solid victory over Wright with a cradle pile driver. Gets a 50 in-ring performance once again. That gets a 40 rating for the wrestling and a 45 for the segment itself. We're going to build up nicely. This might be our best show yet with the 2 matches yet to come. Crowd are white hot. That's a 45 for match number 2 on the card. Yes, definitely think this is going to be our best show. Obviously, we've got Dean Malenko coming up. He's going to pull in at least a 50-plus segment rating for his match. It is 54 as he defeats King Cobra with the Texas Cloverleaf, and that's with Cobra being really off his game. Dean Malenko pulling a 62, which is just out of this world. Cobra with a 32 performance. Guess there's a nice segment of 54, though. Malenko picking up some heat and getting some popularity back into him after losing in the tag match last time around. You're seeing a bit of a cycle here as we work through the summer months. Work into the summer months. But 54 rating there before we get into our main event, which also gets a 54. Exceptionally good match. 54 rating for Jarrett, 44 for Morton. That gets us a nice average of 49 for the wrestling, and a 33 for the crowd means our segment rating gets 54 after various bonuses and whatnot. We're not going to dig into the dirt sheet to figure out that. But a power driver from Jarrett gets the job done. It's defense number 3 of his heavyweight title. His reign is building nicely now, and that closes the show. It gets us a 53 rating overall, which I believe is indeed our best effort, unless I've already forgot what we got last time. Maybe it was 54 last time. We'll see in a second. Locker room wise, everyone did great. We'll give. In fact, we'll do the Harris brothers actually. Complimenting on good performance for both of them. That's Dave Hebner. Don Harris there. Because they did surprisingly well. I'm surprised by how well they've both done. Show-wise, we sent 450 on workers this time around, which is a little bit more than last time, but still, overall loss of 473 is not bad. We're basically, the ticket sales are covering everything but our worker costs now, which is good. Popularity recap, still on 1, gonna be just about missing out on 2 as we get to the end of the month, but we'll see what the finances look like as we get to the 1st of June in a second. We'll just keep going through the next couple of days as we go. So, we don't have an immediate challenger set for Jeff Jarrett's title. We'll click forward in the next couple of days just to get through to the end of the month to do the finances there. But we have now got a tag title match set for our next show as well, as the Ebony Experience takes on the Harris brothers, who have just put in that great performance. 40 and 41 for their in-ring performances is a cracking effort for both of them. And we'll just get through to the 1st of June and do the proper run-through of finances and what this situation looks like going forward as well. So obviously Todd Morton is now at the end of his contract, so he will be leaving us, I think, on the 11th of June, I think it is. But he's come in and done a stint, and he's performed well. He's got some good matches with Jeff Jarrett under his belt, and we'll look to bring him again in the future when we can afford his wages a little bit more. So Yokozuna, he's on my shortlist, so I'm just getting news about him. Right. Finance-wise, we lost $1,185, which is a little bit less than in March, even though our worker costs were that little bit higher, because we're getting more tickets through the door, we're getting slightly better sponsorship as well. That's good. We're making a steady improvement. Sponsorship-wise, expecting 109 this month, so hopefully that's going to keep ticking up. We should hopefully, as we get through the next show, which is Undisputed in 18 days, we should hopefully get to a 2 on our size here, which only is still at 1, which is a little bit annoying. But in fact, let's have a look. Yeah, so it's just when does spillover start? When do we get spillover? We'll start ticking over into Mid-Atlantic, Mid-South, Great Lakes, and Midwest. So when we start building this up, we'll start spilling out a little bit more. But yes, it was a 54 high voltage. Not that long ago that I booked that show, but 3 shows in a row, in the 50s is really, really strong. But that's what we're going to do now. We're going to jump forward 18 days and get to Undisputed. I'm not quite sure. Oh no, it's because we've just jumped forward 3 days, that's why. Tag titles haven't been defended in over a month, so they will be defended at Undisputed, and we'll see what we can do with Jarrett's heavyweight title going forward as well. It's going to be the Harris brothers against the Ebony Experience for the tag titles, and I will see you in a second. Alright, before we get into show number 3, we made a few contract changes. We've signed a few people as well, so we'll quickly look through the roster. So as we go down, we have signed Bart and Brad Batten, the Batten twins, who apparently have won quite a few different tag team titles throughout the late 80s, mainly, I believe, in Puerto Rico. They're going to come in, essentially, to feed to the Ebony Experience. They've got some popularity in Puerto Rico and in the Southeast, so they should be okay so far to do the job. Speaking of new signings as well, we brought in Bob Holly as another face, just to fill out the face side of the roster. Essentially, he's got some good skills. His fundamentals are pretty damn decent. Got some good brawling. Surprisingly high technical ability as well at 52. So he should come in and provide a solid hand in the mid-card. Also, the Harlem Knights have been changed from their ongoing contract to a 3-month contract, so they both leave in September, and they are not the only ones as we go down. Not Dennis Allen. Rick Thames is also going. He's going in July. We've literally given him a month contract because he's just not pulling his weight in the ring. And was there anyone? So the Battens have come in for September as well. I don't believe, actually, there's anyone else we've extended the contract. No, James Wright. Lieutenant Wright, actually. He's coming in. No, sorry, his contract is ending in September as well. So we're going to essentially clear out some of the less good members of the roster. Essentially, we've got a solid core of roster, and then we're going to just cycle through a few tag teams as well to feed to the 2 main tag teams, which are the Ebony Experience and the Harris brothers. And then equally, we're just going to cycle through a load of challenges for Jarrett's heavyweight title as well until we decide who will be dethroning him. Well, I think I've got an idea of who, but we're not there yet. Right, time for Undisputed. And we'll go through to book the card now, and I'll tell you what's to be expected on the card. And then obviously we'll go through the 4 matches, the angle, then get through to our final show of the episode, which is Immortals. We're not giving anyone the night off. There are a couple of people who aren't going to be booked anyway, who won't be here. So I believe Jerry Lynn and Lightning Kid are both elsewhere tonight, but we can look at that in a second. Booking team meeting, not got enough to buy any more ideas, but we have got a couple of creative finishes which we are planning to use over the next couple of shows. So, locker room incidents next, and as always, I'm not expecting anything worrying here. King Cobra tried to bring Kip Montana to some backstage team building, but just annoyed him. So, thanks for that. It's nearly working. I mean, most of the backstage... I'm about to say, the backstage is all harmonious, but Billy Gunn and Al Snow have got into an argument and had to be physically separated. That's less good. Let's do something here and try and meddle between the relationship of Al Snow. Oh, they're not even a bad relationship, are they? Where's Kit Montana? Come on, Kit Montana there. There's no point. Okay, let's cancel that. We'll not do anything. No, do nothing. Move on. I was expecting that to have created a negative relationship between them, but it hasn't, clearly. Okay, so we've got a tag team title match on the card. Al Snow is in action. Mike Jackson is in action against Lieutenant Wright. And then Jarrett and Malenko have got a tag team match against newcomer Bob Holly. And there's an angle as well. Right, absent workers, yes. Jerry Lynn and X-Pac are both at Universal Lucha Libre tonight, but we haven't got them booked, so that is okay. Right, we will go through the pre-booking now and drop everything into the right order of the show, and then see how we get on. We're expecting that tag team title match to actually pull in a decent rating after the Harris brothers got a good showing last time around. I'm hoping for a really good, solid tag team title match. Obviously, no heavyweight championship on the line today, but as you can see from the angle that's coming up after the main event, I suspect we will have one at Immortals. Right, the show is ready to go. Booking analysis. No storylines are being furthered. Hang on. Why not? Do we not have... I don't think we have a tag team title storyline anymore. Let's create a storyline for tag titles. There we go. Booker, Stevie, Ron, Don. Stick those in there. Excellent. Booker and Stevie need to be aligned. Ron and Don need to be... I thought I'd already done this, but maybe not. And then we can add some workers in. The Battens can come in as well. They can be aligned together, obviously. And then we'll also add in the Knights. I believe that is all the people we want to add in at the moment. We only have... Well, I suppose we do technically have Jerry Lynn and Lightning Kid as a tag team. But they're probably going to be more focused on singles. And they're both out anyway tonight. So, right. That's sorted. No announcers necessary for the matches. We've got some debuts who are going to be coming in. Not this show, the Battens, basically. Right, let's book the show. Let's run the show. Let's go. 71 people in attendance in the Southeast as our opener puts in a pretty good... showing. Arsenal getting a 41 rating. Rick Thames showing why we have ended his contract in the next month. But Arsenal wins with a snowplow, gets a 39 overall, 41 in the ring. Crowd rating pulled down, but hopefully this shifts a bit of Thames' popularity onto Snow and helps build him up for the future. Right, next up, Mike Jackson in a dismal match. Why? He's really off his game. Only gets a 24. And annoyingly... I'm placing him as the next challenger for Jarrett, and he's just dropped a 24 in this match. Not the time to be off your game, Mr. Jackson, but we will go through with it anyway. Gets a 28 segment rating all the same. Lieutenant Wright passing some of his popularity over, and his in-ring performance sucks as well, but there we go. That's why we're getting rid of him soon. And then the tag title match actually comes in with a really, really good one. Excellent stuff. Both teams doing such a good job. The creative finish was a success. Storyline has started as well. 48 rating overall. Everyone in the 40s for their in-ring performance. And the missile dropkick kick from Booker T gets the job done over Ron Harris. Defense number 2 of the tag titles. Both teams putting in a sterling performance. I have been very impressed with the Harris brothers in this save so far. Much more impressed than I have been when I very sparingly booked them on WCW 2000. But they've done well here against Harlem Heat, as we would expect Harlem Heat to do well as well. 48 rating brings the card up nicely and gets to our main event, which does the business again because Jarrett and Malenko can pull out good matches out of everyone. Bob Holly is a little bit disappointing with his 38 in-ring performance, maybe hoping to get him to creep into the 40s, but he's been hampered by his tag team partner here. But Jarrett and Malenko get the job done. Malenko making Alan submit with a Texas Cloverleaf. Alan getting a 33 actually is not as bad, potentially, as I would have expected with him being off his game, but still. Gets a 54 rating all the same. Malenko and Jarrett together can do no wrong. 61 and 56 respectively for those pair. That leads us into the next segment, which shows Jarrett thinking he's beat all that SPW has to offer, but Mike Jackson interrupts and lays down a challenge for Immortals. And after his performance tonight, I'm a little bit disappointed that I chose him to do so, but that is the situation we find ourselves in, and Jackson will get a title match at our next show on the 3rd, I believe, of July. 43 rating for the Angle, gives us a nice 52 overall, which is still super strong. Excellent business. Let's address the locker room. Mike Jackson, I am going to... poor performance. Poor performance from you. Not Jeff Jarrett. Who else was I going to call out as a good performance? Someone, I can't remember who. Malenko, he's just exceptional. Let's tell him he's awesome. There you go. No, not worthless. Not worthless. Awesome. Right, Jackson's not concerned. Malenko's pleased. Right, finance-wise, lost of 447 on the show, 450 overall on workers. Once we get rid of Lieutenant Wright, that should bring down a bit, because I think he's on $60 a night, which is a little bit high, but still all well, pretty decent overall of a loss of just under the cost for the workers. Popularity, we're still not up to 2, which is annoying. Hopefully by the end of the episode, when we've got one more show left, hopefully we'll get our Southeast popularity up to 2. Right, let's go through to Immortals now. We're not going to do any more dilly-dallying between shows. I'll see you in a second as we go on to show number 4 of the episode. Alright, before we get into Immortals, let's have a quick look at the June balance sheet. And as probably, well, expected, because we ran one show, we lost about $500-600 in the month, which is par for the course with Feb and April. Obviously a little bit more spent, well, the same spent as April actually on workers. A little bit more than Feb, but more money coming in from both ticket sales and sponsorship, so they're slowly ticking up. Merchandise has now ticked over to 14 a show as well, which is really good. But generally speaking, we're okay. We're only $5,000 in debt. Sponsorship income is expected to be $134 for this month. Obviously, that'll go up once we ran the next show. Obviously, we're going to run 2 shows this month. So we've got Immortals, which is going to be happening right now, and then Doomsday, which will be in the next episode. And it's got a very fiery skull logo, which is very nice. And that will happen at the end of July. Inferno will happen in August. And then Hostile Territory and Endgame will probably be the next episode. And then we've got Collision Course, King of Combat, which I believe I'm thinking potentially having a Battle Royal, which will be very expensive. Then Clash of the Titans and Uprising to finish the year. Right, well, that's just getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. We have got some matches tonight for Immortals. We've got a title match, Jarrett defending against Jackson, who doesn't deserve it, but will get a title shot all the same. Right, let's go through and run the show. This is show number 10, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure I will be. We will not give anyone the night off. We do have, again, a couple of people elsewhere, but they aren't booked anyway, so I'm not concerned and not shifting the show. No pre-show incidents. Booking team, we now have enough for some creative energy. We've got a creative finish scheduled to be used tonight. Anyway, I like creative finishes more than... In fact, no, let's go with a storyline. Let's do a creative story. Oh, it's got Bart Batten in it. Okay. Yep, we can add that to the tag team title storyline, although I don't think he's been involved for long enough yet. We don't have any more left to spend, so let's go on to locker room incidents. Bob Holly not happy with King Cobra. We finally got a bully amongst us. Bob Holly with a bully personality is starting to ruin our collective harmony backstage. Al Snow doing a bit of training. No speeches necessary right now. Absent, we've got Crash the Terminator in Puerto Rico tonight, but he is not in one of our matches that's been scheduled. Let's go to storylines and see if we can deploy the creative idea yet. I don't think we can. Can we do it? It's restrictions. Okay, so he needs to be involved for at least 30 days. So we'll do it after this show, before the next one. There we go. We'll do it before the next show, which is fine. Right, let's go through and we haven't done that yet. Right, brewery booking. Let's add things on to the card. So that's the main event. We'll drop that one in there. The Jarrett title match. We'll go with. What should we go for? None of the rest of the matches have. We've not got Dean Malenko in a match, so I don't know what to put on as this co-main. Let's risk Bob Holly as the co-main, even though he's starting to cause trouble backstage. And then we'll have that one there, and then here we go. We may potentially be using the Harlem Heat, the tag champions, even though they're not wrestling, so we're probably going to be paying them anyway, but never mind. Right, we'll do that. We'll go through, we'll run the show. Who's that who's not been used since April? No, March. Oh, we really need to book the Harlem Nights, don't we? Yeah, no wonder Mabel's irritated. He's not been used since March. It's now July. Okay, well, they're not on the card tonight, so I can't do anything about it. Right, 71 people in attendance once again for Immortals tonight. And we've got our debuting Batten twins, who, not too bad actually, 38, 34 around the exact same level as Brett Colt and Dennis Allen, the guys they have defeated. They've got awful and adequate ratings for their old school heel gimmicks, and they've both got tag team specialist bonuses, so that's okay. Crowd are happy with it. A 39 rating for the match. Top rope dropkick from Bart Batten gets the job done, and then they call out the Ebony Experience, and they come to the ring, and they want a shot at the tag team titles, and we will have them having a shot at the tag team titles next episode. So this is why we brought them in, to feed them to our champions, and that is exactly what we will do. 39 rating there, matches the match. And this... Oh, okay. Yeah, that's okay then. He's injured, that's why. Kip Montana has sustained chronic shoulder pain in this match, even though it didn't hamper him to get the victory over job guy Rick Thames, who we are saying goodbye to after this show. I think his contract ends tomorrow. So he's gone, out on his back. Kip Montana gets a 34 rating for his in-ring performance and is injured. We shall see how long for afterwards. Bob Holly then pulls in a decent performance, a 39. That's in fact, I think I was a little bit harsh on him in the last show. 39 is probably a good score to be expecting him. It's probably better than the guy who's getting a shot at Jarrett on this card anyway. But he beats James Earl Wright in the co-main event with an Alabama Slammer. And that gets a 37 rating overall. James Earl Wright with a poor 28 performance. This is why we are trying to get the popularity off of him onto someone we can use better. And what a first disappointing match involving Jeff Jarrett. He still put in a 45. Jackson only managed a 30. He was off his game. Jarrett was off both guys off their game. Jarrett really off his game, actually. Creative finish was also a failure. A perfect storm to close the episode and really put a downer on things. Jarrett still wins with his power driver, makes his fourth defense of the title, but 39 really drags. Wow, okay, really drags the rating down of the show. Gets a 38 overall. The fans were disappointed that the storylines featured had no dramatic stakes. Wonderful. I'm guessing that's because the tag title storyline didn't really get advantaged much. Never mind. Right, it was always going to happen. The bubble was always going to burst. A run of great shows had to come to an end. We will not do a speech. I don't feel like doing it. Injury review. Montana Kip is out for 87 days until end of September. Can still work through it, but possibly we'll just keep him on the sidelines so he doesn't have to. Finance-wise, we used a little bit more because we paid Harlem Heat to turn up as well for the angle, which we possibly could have done without doing. But 490 on workers is still under 500, which is still fine. And hopefully that is not going to hamper us too much. Popularity-wise, we have gone up to a 2, even though it's on a bit of a downer. 39 is still, 38 is still better than 2. So it's given us an improvement in our popularity. And that is a little bit of a disappointing end to the episode. Obviously, we'll be back next time around with 4 more shows. Hopefully a brighter finish to things as we line up more challenges for Jeff Jarrett to take on. And for the Ebony Experience as well. If we just quickly look at our top 100. It's not our worst show because it didn't have any penalties for production. But it is not in the same league as the last 4, which were all above 50. So it brings it down ever so slightly at 38. In terms of our best match, it's still Lynn and Lightning Kid against Jarrett and Malenko back in March. A few matches from this episode are up there in the high 50s, though, well, mid 50s. Lots of matches on 54, which is nice to see. Attendance-wise, 71 is still the strongest attendance for the last 3 shows, and we've got nothing else on the top 100 to care about there. But 10 shows in, I think we are doing fairly well in our local to global. Jarrett is still our heavyweight champion. Harlem Heat, or Ebony Experience, whatever you call them, are our tag champions, and that is a good place to leave this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it and been enjoying the series so far. Remember to subscribe to the channel, like the video, check out the Patreon if you want to. There's no pressure there. My name's been Anders. Well, it still always will be Anders. It's not just been Anders, it's continuing to be Anders. This has been Spark Power Driver. I will see you on the next episode of either this or the WCW 2000 series, whichever one you are following. Hopefully both. I'll see you there. Thanks for watching.